Welcome to another Stamp with Amy K YouTube Live. And today I am going to share with you a card that I made with the Irresistible Blooms stamp set bundle. This is one of the new items that is coming from Stampin' Up. Starting on March 1st, so I'm pretty excited about it. It's some of the online exclusive products, and hopefully you're able to pick them up starting on the 1st of March because they're really pretty. And all right, so I'm gonna assume that I'm live, and I'll just keep on yakking. I see Carol is here. Thanks so much for joining. But yeah, hopefully I'm live and we're good to go. I'm not sure what happened, why it was spinning, but hopefully it's all. I'm not sure what happened, why it was spinning, but hopefully it's all fixed. So, all right. So this is the card we're going to be making today. It's super simple, actually, just one thing stamped on it. The rest of it is all die cut from the pretty Hello Irresistible designer series paper. So yeah, it's really pretty, really easy, and just like I said, fun to use. So, all right, so this is the Irresistible Blooms stamp set. This is one that, again, it's coming March 1st. It'll be available to everyone. It's available right now for demonstrators to pre-order. And it's, like I said, it's, it's really pretty. Good sentiments, good images, and got some coordinating dies, which is also really awesome. Hey, Joanna, thanks for hopping in. Glad you're joining today as well. And I'm hoping the video isn't stopping every 3 seconds like it looks like it's doing on my screen. I don't know. I got nothing. All right. So these are the dies. This one is actually kind of a cool die, and we're going to play with this one today. There are dies that cut out the floral images and the greenery. Another additional die here. So yay, finally got the landscape thing to work. And Drew and Mary Ruth, thanks for joining. Yeah, I don't know. I've got nothing, Mary. I just kept trying over and over again, and eventually it turned, and I'm like, oh, push the live start. So, so hey, Bree, thanks for joining today. All right. So that is the die set, and again, it's Irresistible Blooms. Again, all will be available starting on March 1st. This is another die set that I used on this, and definitely. So you're so true, Mary. So this is the die, the outside one here is the one that I used on the sentiment, and this is from the All That dies. These dies are in the annual catalog, and yeah, just another good die set. It's got it coordinates with the stamp set, but it also has lots of good, just kind of general dies. So. Hey, Mary Ellen from Chile, Montana. It's cold in New Jersey today, too. And, like, there's talk of snow, but then it's not snow, and I don't even know. So, all right. So, well, I've got a couple things to run through before we get going today. So, Stampin' Up! Has got a really awesome joining promotion going on through the end of February. If you are not currently a demonstrator, this is a great time to join during celebration. They have 3 starter kit options. The first two, actually, it's $129 that you'll pay. You get to pick either the blue or the white mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and $175 worth of Stampin' Up! Products from either of the current catalogs. So it is a really good deal. You get $76 in free stuff. Like I said, and you get the little die cut machine for half price. They have a third option if you are not interested in the die cutting machine or already have one. They still have a great joining promotion going on where you pay you pay $99 and you get $175 worth of merchandise from either of the 2 current catalogs. Starter kits ship for free. Let's see. So you just pay tax on it if that applies in your area. It's a really good deal. There's nothing requiring you to sell to anyone. If you just want to buy for yourself and get the discount, that's awesome. We'd love to have you come join our team. We've got a very relaxed group of stampers that are kind of just in it for fun and love to stamp and love the Stampin' Up! Products. So feel free to come join us if you are interested. All right. Hey, Patricia, thanks for hopping in from New York. Celebration, again, is going on just for a few more days till the 28th of February. Stampin' Up! Did add some additional items to the celebration lineup, so if you haven't seen them yet, go take a peek. They are on my blog, which is stampwithamyk.com. And then finally, the products that I'm showing you today are from the online exclusives that will be available beginning on March 1st. So there's a beautiful bundle, some designer series paper, some little gems, another pack of designer series paper, great embossing folders, a stamp set, plus some additional items. We don't know what they're going to be yet, but hopefully we'll all find out together on the 1st of March, and hopefully they'll all be just as awesome as this collection of things is. So let me know if you have questions. Again, the details for this are on my blog, which is stampwithamyk.com, and I'll be posting all the details for this card as well tomorrow out on my blog, so you can take a look and yeah, let me know if you have questions. So, hey, Kay, thanks for hopping in. It took me a second to read your name. I'm like, Clay fan, what's that? Okay, so, hey, Mary, glad you're here from Kansas, and Vicky as well. So, all right, so let's get going. So this is some of the pretty Hello Irresistible Designer Series paper, and it's got some leaves on the back side of it, but I wanted a little more neutral, so I went with this one. This is cut to about 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, and we're just going to adhere it to a panel of basic white cardstock. That's cut to about 4 by 5 1/4. Again, just using a little Stampin' Seal on that. And getting it adhered hopefully straight and even edges. That's kind of what I was aiming for. All right, then I'm going to grab some Stampin' Dimensionals, and I do chop my Stampin' Dimensionals in half, and I know some of you love that and some of you do not. So if you prefer the whole dimensionals, you can certainly use them. But, you know, the cheap side of me only wants to use the half ones because, you know, it's what, they're whole $4.25 a pack or something. So, you know, saving tons of money by not using whole dimensionals. At least I tell myself that. All right, so I'm going to adhere this to a panel, or to the card front, which is soft seafoam. This is one of those card fronts or card designs that'll actually work with either card base. So I prefer the top fold cards. So this one is cut to 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. If you prefer the standard book fold card, which is the 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 and scored down the side at 4 1/4, it works for that card base as well. I did do a little die cutting ahead of time just because it's kind of boring to watch the blank screen as I do the die cutting. So I used this die from the Irresistible Blooms dies and just ran it through the Big Shot, oh yeah, that's been a minute since I've used that Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine with that die, and just cut some basic white cardstock. And so it actually cuts out the center and leaves the exterior around it, which would work great if you wanted to do something like a shaker card or something fun like that. But today I wanted to actually use the die cut, kind of the delicate die cut pieces here. So I'm just going to take my paper snips, and as you all know, I am quite the fussy cutting knot person. So I'm just going to take it, and thankfully it's only connected on a couple of little dots here along the edge, so it's not a lot of fancy fussy cutting. Those that are better at fussy cutting can probably get them to look like nice round circles, but thankfully most of the little edge circles were covered up in my final design, so you couldn't tell that I had hacked them from the basic white cardstock like I had. So again, this is what I wanted. It was just the pretty little delicate die cut that was left after I snipped off everything that I didn't want. So, all right. So let me see. I think we're going to go ahead and place this like this on the card front. What I was trying to do is I knew that I was going to have a peek through here where you could see the die cut. So I wanted to make sure that I have as much of the non-hacked off, because the hacked pieces you can kind of see are cut a little not as nice because I'm not very good at cutting. So, but I wanted to try to get it so that I would have most of that covered with die cuts. So, I know it is really difficult. I need to be impressed because I got like all of these skills when it comes to fussy cutting, or none at all. So, all right. So as you can see, I've done quite a bit of hacking on these Designer Series paper sheets. Again, this is the Hello Irresistible Designer Series paper, and it will all be available starting on March 1st for everyone to order. I did do some of the die cutting again ahead of time, but did want to do a little bit here on screen with you. So not a fan of fussy cutting. Okay, so it's not just me. Like I said, I hate doing it. And I'm not good at it because I'm always chopping something off I don't want to cut off. So, so the Irresistible Blooms dies actually coordinate perfectly with the Designer Series paper, which I love. So these the little greenery images that are here, well, and I guess that's pinkery, I guess, since it's not green. Not good at fussy cutting either, so I know. See, and then anything I hack up like that, I like to be able to cover it, so I'm good. So, all right, and we've got this little die cut here that cuts this piece, this one that cuts this piece, and then, you know, like I said, this one will cut out the little greenery piece, and then this one actually will cut the flowers over here, but I pretty much chopped almost all of those flowers out, but it fits the flower that's over here. All right. So all that I need to cut, because I've cut ahead of time enough other things, all that I need to cut is this little flower and this little set of greenery. So I'm going to do that here. I'm going to be off screen for just 1 second. The paper is beautiful, and I'm so glad that they have dies that coordinate with it. So you change the design to avoid fussy cutting. I am like, that is me. So I'm glad that I'm not the only one, because I know that there are many who love fussy cutting. I'm just not one of them. All right, so I will be off screen for a second doing the die cutting over here to my left. So I'll be right back as soon as I get the 2 pieces cut. Yep, I'm definitely of the mindset that if there are dies, I'm cutting it with the die. All right. I got the larger flower done here. All right, so there's the flower die cut, and then I'm going to cut the leaves out here quickly. Hopefully. All right. All right, there we go. Get the extra paper out of the way. And you could glue this down if you wanted to with some liquid glue or something. You know, if you cut it on the adhesive sheets, you can use that. I actually didn't adhere it down because I knew I was going to be sticking a lot of the little flower die cuts and things over the top of it. And so I just left it kind of free floating there, and just started sticking the flowers over the top. And I'm using the adhesive that I used on the flowers, basically to stick the circle die cut to the card front. So I want to hold this for a second as I'm putting the flower die cuts on it, at least the first one, until I get it sort of tacked down and in place. I think we'll go ahead and stick that one here. And then I'm going to take the greens, the little leaves here, and using just, again, some little mini glue dots. And I'm going to tuck the greens up here, the green leaves up here underneath. Trying to make sure, the only thing I want to make sure is that I've actually got them on the card front and not hanging off the edge, so they're not, you know, messing up the envelope when I go to send it. Then I'm going to take my other little, I think I'll take the one that's got a little more yellow in it, flower. And we're going to adhere that die cut as well to the card front. And again, just going to stick it right over the top of this little circle that I've die cut as well. And then I've got this little piece, the smaller leaf here, one of the little smaller leaves. We're going to take that one, and I think I'll stick a second glue dot on it since we're trying to make sure that the little circle stays put. And as you'll see, this is one of my kind of hacked up circles over here. I don't know how well you can see it on the screen, but I can definitely see it has a flat edge on it. So I'm going to take my leaves and strategically cover the fact that I am terrible at fussy cutting, and it's all covered and nobody can tell that it's all hacked up and looks a mess. All right, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the sentiment out here. So I have got the thank you sentiment from the Irresistible Bloom stamp set, and a little flirty flamingo, say that 5 times fast, I can't, ink. And I've got basic white cardstock. We're just going to stamp it here in the center of that. And hopefully I've stamped it in a good spot. If not, we'll flip it over and try it again. Looks like it's stamped reasonably well, and I think I've got it centered enough that my die will cut it. So again, this is from the All That Dies, and we're just going to take this and run it through the die cutting machine. One thing that is really awesome about this set of dies, and I don't know if you have seen them used very much, is this circle and this rectangle, this oval, as well as this sort of rectangular shape, I don't know what shape it is exactly, all have a little edge inside that it will actually cut and emboss along the edge. So that's a nice little feature of this die set, and why I pull it out often when I want a little fancy on the die cut. So hang on a second, I'm going to go run this through the die cutting machine. I'll be right back. All right, there we go. The die cut's all done. Let me get this out of the way here, and I'll hold it up here on the screen, so hopefully I'll kind of tilt it around. Hopefully you can see that it puts that little embossed edge on it, which is really cool and really nice. I think it just adds a little extra pretty to it. Even though the stamp set that coordinates with this is a very masculine set, I'm calling it pretty because I think the embossing is pretty. All right, gonna grab some Stampin' Dimensionals to adhere the sentiment down to the card front. And probably putting more on there than I really need, but just want to make sure, again, that that circle stays stuck down very well to the card front. And we will tuck that right over the top of the one flower, and then we'll put a couple more flowers, well, one more flower over the top of it, and we'll be almost done. All right, so I'm going to take this, and again, I'm, just trying to put it along the edge here, trying to keep it fairly straight, and not covering everything up, but covering a little bit. Then I'm going to grab this flower, and we're going to take a couple more Stampin' Dimensionals, and we will stick those to the back. Oh, I forgot. I missed one of the little die cuts. Hang on. Got one more to stick in there. All right, so I'm going to take that and stick this. And I know it's upside down, but I thought it looked better upside down. I don't know. I thought it looked weird right side up. I don't know why I thought that, but I did. So that's why I went with this. And again, I'm trying to strategically place it because these are two flat circles here. Place it so that the flower is going to cover, flower and leaves are going to cover those. Then I've got my little leaf here and some glue dots. So anxious to try the new dot. It's a pretty, the paper is amazing to me. And I love that, it looks like it's stamped, but I didn't have to do it. All the work is all done. All we have to do is cut the paper. So, and then there was one of the little kind of sprigs that actually I had cut and wasn't paying attention and I missed it. I need to tuck it up here underneath my flower, the larger flower up here. And that's it for the die cuts on the card front. Let me grab the loose frosted dots, and they are in fact loose, so just be aware of that when you purchase them. But they're still really cool. So they're pretty, so I couldn't help myself, and I wanted to use them anyway, even though, again, I'm kind of a mess when it comes to gluing. I want to get one of the smaller ones out here, and then see if I can find a more medium-sized one, because they're 3 different sizes. Of course, maybe I'm just blind or not paying much. There's a medium-sized one. All right. Maybe. Come on, fingers. There we go. All right, so got one of each size. And then these actually are little mini glue dots that were left over. I think they're from a paper pumpkin kit. Either that or one of the kits in the online store, one of the kit collection kits. I can't even remember. Just cutting the paper and assembling cards is great, definitely. So these are actually left over, and I found that they fit the two larger, like the large and the medium sized, fit pretty well right on top of those these little glue dots. So I stuck the glue dot to the paper, and I did grab my little take your pick tool. Sometimes I remember to bring it, sometimes I do not. But the medium sized dot fits perfectly, and as does the larger one. The littler one, I actually had to do a little, not maneuvering, but just kind of had to fold up the glue dot a little bit to make it work. So got the larger one. We're just going to stick that over the top. For the littler one, like I said, it works. I tried to peel it so that the backing was still, or the glue dot was still on the backing. And then I'm just going to kind of roll it up with my chubby little fingers and then stick it to the back of this little tiny dot. And then I'm going to place the little tiny dot over here, maybe. Come on, little tiny dot. Of course, it sticks to the wrong spot. There we go. Put the little tiny dot and then smush it down here. And that actually, the glue dot will hold it. And I didn't have to use liquid glue like I did the last time and end up with my finger stuck to the card and all that. So if you've purchased some of the kits before, hold on to your little mini glue dots because they work perfectly with these. Again, like I said, this one was a little bit of work just because I had to roll it up, but otherwise they work great. So hang on to your little mini glue dots. All right. Let me get this mess out of the way and finish up the inside of the card, and we'll be all done for today. So I've got basic white cardstock. This is cut to about 4 by 5 1/4. And then I've got a piece of the designer series paper, the Hello Irresistible, that I trimmed off when I cut the card front. It's about 3/4 of an inch I don't know, I'll call it 3/4 of an inch-ish because I don't know that I measured it precisely at 3/4 of an inch. I just kind of went a little bigger than 5/8 and less than 1. So it may be closer to 7/8. I don't know. I just chopped it off. All right, and we're going to adhere that to a panel of basic white cardstock with some Stampin' Seal. I'm going to take my snips and again show you my fantastic fussy cutting skills. That's all I got for skills. And put a little Stampin' Seal on the back, adhere it to the inside of the card base, and we'll be all done. So again, all of this product will be available starting on March 1st, which is awesome and really not that far away. It's only like a week and a day, which I can't even believe it. So it's going to be March 1st before I know it. And then it'll be Christmas, and then I don't even know where the year went. So I guess that means that I'm officially old when I start saying things like that. All right. So again, if you are not a demonstrator but want to get your hands on this product early, you can add this to your starter kit. So just know that about it. It's beautiful. So you're going to want it either way, whether you add it to your starter kit now or whether you purchase it later on the 1st when it's available for everybody. Let me know if you have any questions about anything. Again, I appreciate you all being here. I will be back at my normal 2 o'clock Eastern time on Friday and on YouTube. And again, back here around 2 o'clock Eastern time next week, Tuesday. Thanks for joining. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and we will chat with you all soon. Oh, and don't forget the clearance rack. Go take a peek. If clearance rack was updated with lots of new things, which I totally forgot to say earlier. I intended to tell you about that. So clearance rack update, go take a look. Stamp sets are out there. So yay. All right, enough. All right, chat with you.